Hey, what's up, guys? It's Richie from Boston. It is the 19th of March, 2022, or that's what they tell us at least. So that's what we're going with. And I'm wearing a hoodie that I found that I got out in Wyoming. Mike Decker, Mountain Trash. You gotta love it. At any rate, things are getting wacky, and people don't seem to notice it, or they seem to think that, the only thing that we got going on is this darn thing with Putin and the gas prices. We're in stage 2. This is going to continue. I've stressed this. I've brought this up. I've told you a million times. Be careful who you watch. Be careful what you listen to. And keep your eye on what's real. Stage 2 is happening amidst all the distractions. I put a lot of people out there. Doctors, other YouTubers, etc., and people got mad at me for it. But let me explain something to you. Social media, influencers, celebrities on YouTube, etc. Many of them have been put there for the longest time to simply distract you or send you in the wrong direction. Let me show you something real quick. Just something that a lot of people listen to.
Hello, you're listening to Hugo Talks. Now, I've had a few people contact me asking me to cover this Russell Brand, who said in a recent video that the world needed a new system of global governance, which is another way of saying you want a new world order or a one world government. Now, I don't know why people would be surprised by this, but going through my emails, some people are shocked. You have to take into account that this guy, he's worked with the BBC extensively in the past. He's had deals with Hollywood, Warner Brothers extensively, to the point where he was given his own production company by Warner.
I'll leave links below if you want to watch the rest of that video. It's only like 5 minutes long, but it already proves my point. Anybody coming out of Hollywood to YouTube is either a failing Hollywood actor or actress, or they've been sent over here to do their job. There is a lot of people on YouTube that I've followed for over 10 years that when the shit hit the fan, they started going in opposite directions. They didn't even cover it. They were worried about moving to other platforms where they could still be monetized, etc. If you understand what's going on, then you understand that being monetized doesn't make any difference whatsoever at all, because money isn't going to mean anything. They're already working. They're already done with the digital currency. They're already done with the New World Order. They're just putting it in place around us quietly. And speaking of putting things around us quietly, our old friend is at it again.
Not all mosquitoes carry malaria. Anophelines are the mosquitoes that carry malaria. And then there's another mosquito that's called Aedes. Aedes doesn't carry malaria at all. It's most famous for carrying other killer diseases like yellow fever, dengue, chikungunya, recently famous for carrying Zika. In the case of malaria, you gotta have the right mosquitoes around, the anophelines. They have to go feed on a human, get a bunch of blood. They can barely fly when they have the blood in them. If the human it bites happens to have malaria, then the second time it bites a human, then it can transfer the malaria. What happens when you hit the malaria season is that the mosquitoes breed like mad. So you go from small numbers to literally billions of mosquitoes. And so they're biting all these people. But if you can cut the mosquito population, then the malaria can't move around. And if you go through 3 seasons, say, with very few mosquitoes, then the malaria disappears. What you're trying to do is bottleneck the disease and have some point in time where there's none of it in mosquitoes and there's none of it in humans.
So, of course, they're releasing 2 billion genetically modified mosquitoes in Florida and California on opposite ends of the United States so they can make their way through the middle. And it's funny because we've been warning about this forever. We've been telling you about this forever, etc. And then you see things like this on Snopes. Bill Gates releasing, here's the whole story. No, it's not another microchip conspiracy. No, it's not a microchip conspiracy, but it's one hell of a way to get flying syringes in the sky to bite people that wouldn't ordinarily take their incredibly toxic DNA-changing vaccine, which so many have done voluntarily. Well, this is for the involuntary. And here's the other thing. Nobody votes on this. Nobody gets a say in this. All of this is kept quiet until it's announced that it's passed and gone through. That's how it works in the world that we live in right now. So be ready for this. Do you see what I'm saying? How many people do you know that have died because of a mosquito bite? Yeah, me neither. But this guy just will not stop with his horror stories. Now that is the scariest video I've ever seen a billionaire make. Still the world's deadliest killer. That's a statement. That's a statement. That's a straight up statement. It's thinly veiled, but there it is. Blah, blah, blah. 2 billion. Combine that with the ones they released last year, the ones they're probably releasing right now, the ones you never heard about. And according to Snopes, they're not even doing it at all. It's no big deal. All is well. This is all just a conspiracy theory. It's unbelievable, man. Absolutely unbelievable. When I ran this video a year and a half ago or so on my YouTube channel, and everybody went over here and smashed that dislike. They were down. He had like 50,000 thumbs downs. My channel got taken away. Remember that time? But I still would not shut up, and nobody else should either. I want to remind you that this is March. The Ides of March is a big deal to these people. The stuff that they do during March, the sacrifices, the things they put in motion, etc., etc. Remember this.
To unleash the full power of the federal government in this effort today, I am officially declaring a national emergency. Two very big words. The action I am taking will open up access to up to $50 billion of very important and a large amount of money for states and territories and localities in our shared fight against this disease. In furtherance of the order, I'm urging every state to set up emergency operation centers effective immediately. You're going to be hearing from some of the largest companies and greatest retailers and medical companies in the world. They're standing right behind me and inside of me.
So this was on March 13th, 2020. Remember that? March 13th, 2020. March is a big deal to these people. March 13th, 2020. Let's go to March 13th, 2022 and see what happened.
On Sunday, March 13th, 2022, Barack Obama posted that he tested positive for COVID-19.
And we're following some breaking news. Former President Barack Obama has tested positive for COVID-19. He broke the news on Twitter this afternoon, saying in part, quote, "I've had a scratchy throat for days, but I'm feeling fine otherwise."
Now, real quick, just pay attention to this tweet by Barack Obama. Notice the lightning bolt down here. Barack Hussein Obama, lightning falling from heaven. Notice the date. Notice the time. Notice the amount of likes. Are you seeing all this? I mean, this can't be coincidental every single solitary time. And yet, here it is, right in front of your face.
He then went on to encourage everyone to get vaccinated. The former First Lady has tested negative.
In the last few videos, we have been discussing the use of numerology as a fundamental and essential component of satanic ritual, the presence of which serves to clearly identify these rituals as such. This tweet and the specific timing of it points to the fact that Obama is the biblical Antichrist, whose description can be found in Revelation 13.
Now, this YouTuber, I still can't say his name correctly, but I've told people about him for years and years. I can't sign into his website, even though I signed up for it, and he never responds to me, but whatever. it's just very strange that 2 years to the day Barack Obama comes back again. I've got a scratchy throat, therefore I have COVID. Everybody go get your vaccine. They're not going to stop with this. It's going to come back. Ukraine has the least amount of people vaccinated according to the CDC and what they're telling us, according to their story. And their story also shows refugees being spread out all over the world. Open your homes to the refugees. This is how they're going to do it all over again. Do you see what I'm saying? Now, don't forget this. This is up and running. This is from the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston, and it's phase 1 executive summary of the digital dollar. The digital dollar, meaning people like me and you that won't go along with the rules in the system and have a terrible social rating score, I'm sure, will be phased out. Phase 1, phased out. And we're in stage 2 of COVID right now. Now, look at this and then keep this in mind. Saudi Arabia, our ally, we've given them all the military weapons they could possibly need. According to the story, they're the ones that were in the planes that attacked us, even though that's not the real story, but that's the story they gave us. These guys are now talking about accepting the yuan instead of the dollar. You see what I'm saying? This is coming. They're doing this. I told you about this 3 years ago. I told you about this 2 years ago, a year ago, 6 months ago. It takes a while. They're doing this slowly. They're taking over the entire world, and there's a lot of logistics involved in that. But they're getting them done, whether you know it or not. When we see stuff like this, it's already been done. It's already been done. So we got a lot of balls in the air right now. Do you see what I'm saying? For real. A lot of things are going on, and it's March. This is the month that they like to hit. They do it all the time, every single year. They won't miss it. And April 1st is the new year. April Fool's Day, get it? And one more thing I want to pop in here real quick. I just find this to be incredibly horrible, but it's where we're at as a society. We are Sodom and Gomorrah. I'm going to guess on steroids.
Hey guys, Demon Hunter here. Hope all is well. Just wanted to show you this. Thanks to Liz for sharing this with me. The Democrats in Maryland proposed new law that would allow mothers to kill their babies up to 28 days after birth. It's absolutely insanity what we're seeing here. Senator William Smith, Democrat, Maryland, has proposed new legislation in Maryland that would legalize abortion up to 20 days after a child is born. Senate Bill 666, invert the 9. And then if you were to, let's see here, and then here, I mean, if you were to kill a preborn sea turtle, that's a $100,000 fine, 1 year in prison. If you kill a preborn bald eagle, that's a $250,000 fine, 2 years in prison. And if you kill a preborn human being, no penalty, which is obviously, extremely disturbing.
This is bad. And notice when they announced the bill, March 9th, 3/9/2022. This is horrendous, people. Absolutely horrendous. God is not happy whatsoever at all. Not at all. I highly implore you to at least say the Our Father prayer every single solitary day. If you do nothing more, at least pray that, because that's what Jesus told his disciples to pray. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. For thy is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. In the holy name of our Redeemer, Jesus Christ, I pray. Richie from Boston. It ain't getting better. Be ready. I'm out.